Hi everyone, Celt here, bringing you my thoughts on the British royal family, and today I'll be addressing some of your comments to my last two videos. One of you commented, and it was a great comment, that if the alleged girl was born in the US, then Charles has no claim. That would make her a US citizen because Charles has no jurisdiction in the States. Absolutely, I agree. If there was a girl, then that's true, but one never knows with the powers that be and the relationships between countries, leaders of countries, etc. Anything can happen. But I agree with you. And then that also means that if she's a US citizen, then she cannot be a princess. Someone else asks, what kids are you talking about? Do they have real kids? Well, most of us don't think they do. A lot of this is hypothetical because the media is talking as though they do have kids. Another great comment is, anyone notice when reference is made to the children, Lilibet's name has quietly been dropped? Yes, absolutely. I noticed that, and I'm thinking it could be that the media also disapprove with how the Queen's nickname was basically stolen. And maybe they're purposely not using it, or even more likely because they know that she doesn't exist. Perhaps maybe Archie exists and Lily doesn't, but Archie belongs to someone else. That's what I tend to think, that there is a boy that they use, but the girl is totally non-existent. Just photos. Not sure, but we will soon see. I have looked on the royal website, and although there is mention of a Prince Archie, 7th in line to the throne, I believe, I cannot find any mention of a Princess Lilibet or a Princess Lily anywhere on that website. That's very interesting. Take a look yourself and see if there is, if I've missed something. But I've searched and put in the search box within the royal website different variations of her name and princess. Nothing comes up. Another very valid comment or question is, do you Brits really believe British law is in effect in the US? Charles has no authority here. Well, we of course know this, but we also know that the members of a certain club scratch each other's backs and could have made anything happen, though I believe that's not likely nowadays. The reason I mentioned about Charles's authority over heirs to the throne was because not that it would be put into effect, and not least because most of us believe there are no children anyway, but that it could be useful during any future arguments or power flexing. Someone else said that Meghan only carried moon bumps, and as we remember, one fell down around her knees in Birkenhead. This is very old news, but quite new for some people who are only just realising that we have just not really seen any children. Wherever Harry and Meghan go, they don't have any children with them. Another question, why aren't the media and royals commenting? What are they hiding? Very suspicious. All I can say is give it time. Another very valid comment is, maybe the rumoured super injunction is up for renewal and it's not been granted by the judge. Let's hope so, and the whole truth comes out. Yes, I absolutely agree with that. I think this could be the trigger, if you like, for the whole rest of the truth coming out. Another very valid comment, and I quote, the king did not formally announce the titles for the two kids, therefore the titles were not recognised by the royal family. End quote. I agree, he did not formally announce the titles, and I don't believe I've heard him use the name Lilibet or Lily, and I don't think I've heard him say Archie, but it does surprise me that Archie's name and title are on the royal website as an heir to the throne. Someone else says, and I quote, sorry to burst your bubble, there is no Archie official, let alone a Lily doll. End quote. Yes, I tend to believe that too, but I discuss all sides to the story because it's interesting to see how the media run with this and how the royal family deal with it also. And what is very important is that there are people that have no clue yet and really believe that they have two children, don't notice the differences each time they're photographed. And I think discussing it all is better than just stating that they don't exist, end of. It's very black and white, and I tend not to be like that. I tend to look at every possibility and be prepared to have my mind changed. Someone else is asking me, didn't Danger Zone, and for those who don't know Danger Zone, that was Ashley, the lovely fellow YouTube creator who I love and miss, who passed away sadly. And she did some investigation and said that the doctor on the birth certificate for Lily wasn't even working then. Yes, she did. And I remember that video, and I also remember mentioning it in one of mine, and it is true. Thank you for pointing that out. Someone else asks me, what will King Charles do with rented grandchildren? My question is, what will the general public do when the truth about all of them come out? But I digress. Another comment was, what about the tweet from Kensington Palace that was only posted for a very short time about the birth of Archie, saying something about the surrogate? Yes, I remember that, and I did a video on that as well, whereby a post which was from Kensington Palace, a tweet, allegedly from Catherine and William, saying that a surrogate was used and they apologised. I'll find that if I can and post it again. I talked about this in a previous video. I think there was truth in that, and I don't even believe it was an employee that did it, even though there was a grammatical error. I think that at 1 a.m. or whatever, I believe that if they were discussing it, I can just imagine Catherine and William in bed discussing all the issues before they go to sleep, and this preying on their mind and not having any peace about it, getting up, going down and doing something about it because they're basically honest. And that's how I see it happening. And then taking it down shortly after, because maybe just allowing enough time for people to run with it. And who cares about grammatical errors at that time of the morning when you're probably half asleep anyway? So that's what I think probably happened. I think it eased their consciences because they're both very honest people. Someone else says, about time there was clarification of the births. If by surrogate, they have to come clean. What nationality of a surrogate, if not born of the body, they will not be in line of succession? Absolutely, that's true. And then this person says, too much mystery. For what reason? If the children are not of the body, why is Harry going along with the deception? Very good question. I believe Harry and others have gone along with the deception because there is a much bigger picture here, and he's just playing his part in it. Someone else says that the British public deserves to know the real truth about these invisible children. My answer to that is yes, they do, and maybe they are finding out through all the bizarre and weird and unbelievable photos, videos, non-matching stories about this very subject. It's no good telling someone that something isn't real. It's much better to show them and let them realise it eventually themselves. Someone else says, yes, these things should be 100% investigated. An 11-month moving pregnancy bump and born in no time at all, 40 minutes, no way. Yes, I agree, and these things do not need to be investigated because it will all be public before too long. Another very good comment. The king didn't give the kids the titles. That woman took them. Yes, she did. She was the one that first, if you like, officially announced them by using them. But they automatically received those titles after the Queen died. Most likely not born of the body. And I also believe that they are supposed to be born within wedlock with the royal and his wife both being married, and the baby should be born of his wife's womb. And I think that is very valid because I don't believe that it happened that way, and most people don't believe it happened that way. Another comment from one of my viewers, and I quote, I love to watch your old videos. You were the first creator I watched after I figured her out. I think Her Majesty the Queen left a little bit out of her will because she wasn't her granddaughter because of the sheer disrespect of her name. I think that's a brilliant question. I think that she left her out of her will because of the fact that she doesn't exist and because they basically stole her name and manipulated her. Someone else says that the titles were automatic on the death of the Queen. Yes, but not if they don't exist or if they were born not of the body of the prince's wife. and within wedlock. The way it happened makes a farce of the whole thing. And this comment, King Charles raised his glass to Archie and said, to Archie, wherever he may be. That says a lot. That's a massive hint for all of us. Yes, they know, and it will be out before long. Another good comment. If King Charles and Prince William have this alleged birth certificate of Diana Mountbatten-Windsor, they know it all. It's game on. The monarchy and the firm always play the long game in a multi-level chess game. Yes, they do. And in part, this is what's happening, but it's part of a much bigger picture. Another question is, have I heard of any agreements that Harry had to have children by age 40 in order for certain reciprocity, I think I said that right, to take place? Yes, I did hear this. Can't remember where, but I do remember that he had to have children by 40 for whatever reason. Another valid point from someone is that their wedding was also a sham because not even their real names were used, because it should have been Henry Charles Albert David, not Harry. I agree, I noticed that at the time as well. Several people have made comments about the royal news reporter Nicholas Witchell, who is a very experienced reporter, and I mentioned him in my last video and showed a clip of him stumbling over his words and then not being able to talk and handing it back to the newsroom because he could not lie. And now another great comment from one of my viewers, which goes as follows. Lilibet does not exist. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I work for the county registrar, and I've checked that there is no child born in California with the name of Lilibet Diana Mountbatten-Windsor, but there is a Diana Mary Mountbatten-Windsor born with the same date of birth with different parents. I've sent all legal documents to William and Charles and UK Home Office and UK Security. Harry and Meghan were adopting a girl, but problem after problem, and the birth mother decided to keep her daughter, and Meghan and Harry didn't get the little girl. And she goes on, they have been borrowing other people's kids, like the Jubilee photo is the daughter Hartford Schroeder Clark, the daughter of Stacey and Bo Schroeder Clark. So thank you for that comment. I've seen this before and mentioned it in a previous video. And yes, it will all go public at some point, I'm sure. And it definitely needs to. And as some of you are saying, Mountbatten-Windsor is not a common name. So this is not any coincidence. It's good that many people are seeing this now. And I think that's why it's been taking so long, because most people would not be able to handle knowing this. But the more it becomes accepted and people get the word out and see the evidence for themselves, it becomes easier then for it to be made public officially. So keep watching. Most of my details around the birth and pregnancies are in my older videos. You'll have to go back through them and find them. But I covered most of the stuff that's been talked about and is still being talked about now. The thing is, some of the really good information could be in a video that isn't mentioning it in the actual title. It could be a video that's covering several subjects. So it's a bit frustrating for me as well, because I don't know where a lot of my information is in my old videos, and I really don't have the time to go through them. There must be over 500 of them now, I think. So thanks for your lovely comments and very valid questions. I'm sorry I couldn't answer all of them or discuss all of them, but I do read as many as I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And ask me more questions. I can't guarantee I can answer them, but I'll do my best. Much love. Bye.